Hello there. This is Sherry coming to you live. I am still on Salt Spring Island for a couple more days. It is Friday, close to noon here in British Columbia in the Pacific. In the Pacific because I'm on an island. I hope everyone is well. My name is Sherry Simpson. I'm a transformational life coach, and I wanted to pop in to talk about the sacral chakra today. So on YouTube, I did, excuse me, on YouTube, I did a video the other day about chakras, and I showed some of these cards and explained kind of what the chakras are. They are energy centers in the body that are supposed to swirl and move energy from above to below and from energy from below to above. So yesterday we went, excuse me, my throat chakra must be off today. Yesterday we went through and did a what is it or how do we clear it on the root chakra. And your root chakra is the one that faces down into the ground. And your root chakra is about all of the things that you need as a mini human being born into the planet. So all of the things you need to survive here. And or as a teenager who's leaving your parents' home, or a 20-something and going out into the world. So what is it that you need? You need enough. If you're not grounded and rooted, then, do you have enough money to pay for what it is that you need to pay for? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have clothes? Do you have food? Do you have enough nourishment? Do you have the closest relationships to you that you need to survive? So that would be what your root chakra is. And normally when we have root chakra issues, we have fear in moving forward, we're not feeling grounded, we're stuck in our head, and we can't manifest things because the things that we're trying to manifest get stuck up in here somewhere as we're going down, and then they can't actually get out into the physical tangible because they can't get through the root chakra all the way down into the physical ground. So we can't actually bring them into physical, tangible reality. So that is usually the first chakra everyone works on, and you want to make sure it's balanced. So if you have issues with your root chakra, then you want to use some essential oils for balancing, take an Epsom salts bath, practice being in the moment, go into nature and be in the forest, do some walking or stepping on your feet, lie down on the ground, anything like that where you're connecting in with nature and feeling actually grounded on the planet. Today we're talking about number 2 because it's February 2nd and it's Groundhog Day. The second chakra is located in the center of the pelvis, and so it's in that womb space in a woman, and it is connected to birthing things, but that includes birthing your closest relationship. So as a baby gets to that point where it is starting to be more tactile and starting to touch things and starting to be more interactive, then that is where your issues in the second chakra or where your second chakra starts to expand. Then, so if you're having issues with creativity, if you're having issues with allowing more money in than what you just need to survive, then that would be a second chakra issue. If you're having issues with women with your cycle, so women, as your cycle is not supposed to create any symptoms in the body whatsoever, except for the fact that you're actually releasing fluid on the first day of your month through a couple of days. Like, you shouldn't know that you're having a monthly cycle. So if you have all of these weird, crazy things going on with your endocrine system and you're emotional and you're craving all sorts of things, then you're not balanced in that sacral, in that sacral chakra area, and you're not balanced in your creativity, in your endocrine system, in your hormones that are associated with that area. So that's definitely something that you can look at. There are essential oils you can use for that. Oftentimes it may be connected to the throat and speaking your truth, because the throat and the birthing things, including projects, including things that you're moving into the world, like your legacy, your passion, your purpose, can all be tied in to that area of your closest relationships. So if you have issues with not necessarily authority, but if you have issues with not sharing well with your closest relationships, or feeling like people may judge you, or not being able to move forward, then that can be tied into your closest relationships too. If you're people pleasing, or if you're doing things or you don't want to do things in your closest relationships, then that can actually tie in some to that sacral chakra area. If you're feeling exhausted, then it's close to the adrenals as well, so that can tie into your second chakra. So the second chakra is about building relationships, it's about building passion, it's about building money. Hi there. Your second chakra is about creativity, so if you're not feeling creative at all, then that second chakra is not stimulated. And I talked about essential oils to stimulate things. The citrus oils are really good for stimulating things around this area. And anything that, like the wild orange is one of the ones that I use, because that one is actually the oil of abundance, and it's orange. And your sacral chakra is also orange. So in order to actually think about stimulating it, you could use essential oils that are orange. You could use clothing is one thing I didn't mention. One thing that you can do is eat food that are of the different colors in order for helping each chakra. You could also wear clothing. So if you're not balanced in that area, you could actually wear like orange underwear or orange pants, or like, you know, an orange skirt or whatever it is, in order to, you could also use brown, because brown is actually a very grounding color and connected to the root and the chakra as well. So you can connect in with colors, you can connect in with oils, you can connect in with imagining an orange ball in that area, and imagine it being vibrant, and imagine it being healthy. The other thing that I like to use is stones, so gemstones. This one I think is a jade. Jade can be very grounding, and this one is very orange, and it almost has like gold flecks in it. So this would be a good one to carry around in your pockets in order to help that area. The other one that I have that is kind of similar is an orange and white. So any of the orange stones, like the topazes and things like that, are really good for that area. So thinking about things that are orange in order to stimulate that area, and actually seeing things as being more colorful, or finding more creativity. So if you're not eating a creative diet, if you're not wearing clothes that are in all different colors, if you're not doing things that are creative, then maybe pull out a coloring book, pull out, do something that actually spurs your creativity or spurs your ability to create something. Go to one of those paint nights, or go to something like that in order to stimulate your creativity, in order for that second chakra to be able to expand a little bit. It's very rare that people actually have an overactive, well, actually that's not true, you could have an overactive sacral chakra if you're spending a lot of time in your closest relationships, and possibly not spending enough time with yourself, or enough time balancing your closest relationships with some of the other things that you want to do in life. But usually people are actually underactive in this area rather than over, but it is possible to be both. So what I do to help people, which is I think valuable, because it's nice to know how to balance your own chakras, but it's also nice to know which ones are over and under active, and by how much, in case you can't tell. And it's also nice to know which chakra you lead with, so that you have an idea of which areas in your life you are being affected by the over and under active chakras. So that's one thing that I do for people. It's a quick reading that I do, where I connect into your energy. I open up your Akashic record, which is your book of life, and I ask questions based on each chakra and get a percentage to know whether it's overactive or underactive. And then I go through a list of things, or use my own guidance to see which areas of your life are actually being affected by over and active chakras. And then I determine which one you're actually leading with to see if it's one that's over or under active. And then I do an actual balancing in order to get them all back into alignment. And then I could give you suggestions on, if it's a stone or if it's an oil or if it's more fruit or what it is that you can use for you in order to get your chakras to be more balanced and aligned. And why would you do that? Because when the energy isn't flowing in your body, then you actually have places where the energy gets stuck. So I was explaining this yesterday where the energy can flow into source, but if you're stuck at the heart chakra, hi Lori, if you're stuck at the heart chakra, then it doesn't actually go through and the energy goes all the way back out and it bounces rather than coming back down. So if things were stuck at the sacral chakra, then you may not have the creativity you want, you may not be able to build the business you want, you may not be able to have that intimacy in your closest relationships that you're looking for. So it may be that things from the physical world are trying to manifest, but they can't actually go all the way up to crown to get the thoughts and the energy and the inspired actions to take in order to bring them back down. So that's how clearing your chakras and paying attention to them on a regular basis can help you, because we can get blocked physically by literally, like your adrenals could be having issues because you're not balancing your chakras in that area, or your closest relationships could feel a little bit like walking on eggshells because you're not balanced in those areas as well, like specifically for the sacral chakra. So balancing themselves or connecting with someone like myself who can actually help you balance them is a really good idea. And then usually people can get in tune with their intuition once chakras are balanced, and then know when they're out of balance and what you need to do in order to connect them back in. So that's how I help people. That's how you can help yourself. And that's why you really want your chakras to be balanced so that energy can flow. So life feels more like it's flowy. So it doesn't feel hard. It doesn't feel tough. It doesn't feel like you're pushing blocks of cement around. And it feels like your closest relationships are more nourished. And you feel like you're more on your path and your purpose and living your passion, because that creativity and that ability to birth things in your life, specifically talking about the sacral chakra number 2, is actually open and balanced. So if you have any comments or questions on that, let me know. If you want to work with me in order to have me check your chakras and balance them for you and give you my suggestions, let me know that too. And tomorrow we go through the solar plexus chakra. So tomorrow we go through number 3. So today is Feb 2. And it's a 2-2 day, which is actually quite a big day energy-wise, because we go through a period of 12 months of January 1 on the 1st, February 2nd on the 2nd, and March 3rd on the 3rd, where energy kinds of builds until we get to December 12th. So this is one of those building energy kind of days. This is one of those like significant days in a month where we're actually building the energy and moving through towards the end of the year. And we just had the eclipse that happened, and we're in eclipse season, so now we're actually allowing ourselves to do some co-creation and to do some thinking about what it is we want to co-create as we're moving further forward in 2018. So if you haven't done any journaling, if you haven't done your grounding, if you haven't got out into nature, it's still a good time. So allow yourself to connect into nature, allow yourself to connect into your chakras, and see if you can find ways to balance and align them on your own. So have a beautiful day wherever you are. Namaste.